Hey everyone, back at West Street at the ACMS workshop. It's Wednesday night, which was an Osborne one. This is just listed as an Osborne. I'm just going to flip around here so you can have a look. Now, the weird thing about this Osborne is that it's got the standard large 5 1/4 on one side, but then a dual 5 1/4 on the other. And it's got this widen expansion board that's connected onto the external expansion slot. It's got an internal, sorry about that disconnection. We've got this internal jig here that's been glued in and soldered on, which seems to give external video. There was a connector here going off onto the front panel that had an RCA jack, and this board runs the entire length of the machine and is affixed, and there is a nasty leaking battery there that we will remove tonight. And then in the back there's another expansion board which seems to go to an external another socket with a switch that has a ribbon cable for some kind of external access. Now we're just trying to get this unit open. It's different to the Osborne one. I believe we're just
big chips on it. It's
no.
just a video out.
Yeah, well, it's doing a lot. But don't forget, this is 1980, 81, 82, so there might have been more. Have you done that middle one?
No,
I think that's just the... So unlike the Osborne one, this unit has the additional fact that there's 5 screws underneath, because it doesn't have just the one vacuum form case. It's actually two hemispheres of plastic joined together. So we're currently just gonna pull this apart. Yeah, but these aren't Osborne ones.
Oh, okay.
I'm not very familiar with the Osborne model numbering, but I'm sure you guys can help us out with that. I'm just going to pass this over to Murray so I can start looking at removing this. So I think Murray, it's definitely coming apart. Just got to nicely, gently take that apart. And we'll put that aside.
No, the other way around. You'll lose the screws.
Sit that there for a moment. So we've got our workbench a little bit full today. We were going to work on the Mac Classic, but we don't have the tools. Okay, so that's your standard board, and there's a lot of this hot glue's been put in. There's been some definite modifications or additions here. So what we want to do is we want to get to the power supply to double check it's all okay, and we want to take out the logic board. Yep, we'll take the we'll take the board out. So if you unscrew, it doesn't matter either one. I'm going to have a look at what is going on with this machine. It's, as I said, it's been heavily upgraded. Trying to understand what is going on with that upgrade or upgrades, as it looks. It's quite significant. Once again, for those now watching, we've got external video connector that connects to the front bezel. This expansion slot has had another board soldered into it, and that expansion board runs, it's quite large, runs the whole length of the computer here, and then there's another expansion board deep down inside the machine that connects to a ribbon cable, and there's looks like a 44 pin connector or a 50 pin connector on the back. So just before you keep on pulling that, Murray, we'll just have a look. So we've got a PAP2 ROM and another ROM, 7A3007-00 Rev A. So there is multiple expansion boards in here. We've got 1, 2, 3 expansions that have been kind of tacked into this machine. We've got this one here, which seems to be a video output. Then we've got this one over here, which I can't, here we go, Super IO model R10, copyright 1983. Looks like it's been hand soldered a long time ago. And then we've got that horrible battery there that is definitely causing some damage. There's definitely been some...
Power supply's got some...
Yeah, the power supply has definitely been modded to have a higher amount of energy, I'd say, because of all these expansions. Then we've got this other card in the back here, copyright 1984. I'm just gonna peel off this sticker. RC Electronics, a double density RDDL card. So that's going to, by the looks of things, this dual floppies on this side, which must be double density, and then an external floppy as well. So the fact is, it looks like this unit actually supports at least 4 floppies, if not more, which is considerable. If anyone knows what this, oh, here we go, an 80 plus video. It's weird, the way that whoever's previously owned this has completely glued everything together with hot glue, which is going to make it impossible to kind of get in and service some of this. There's even some kind of a dip switch under here for...
Which you can't get to from the front.
It looks like that is possibly a ROM switcher, because this ROM is just hot glued into its socket onto a cable running underneath this board, which then must run back to the original board's ROM, is my guess. The biggest issue we're going to have here is this leaking battery.
Yeah, it's done a lot of damage.
It doesn't look like it's done any damage to the actual board itself, and this unit is powering on. Look, there is green corrosion inside this DB25 female port, but a bit of vinegar bath on that at some point in the future will clean that up. This board, look, it's only a single layer board by the looks of things, so we'll just have to clean it. We'll put a bit of ISO on it tonight just to kind of clean it up, and we'll snip out this battery just to prevent any further damage. These tracks, etc., can be repaired quite easily because they're so kind of visible, but they have corroded through. And yeah, yeah, a couple of rubber feet have been glued in from the unit just to kind of ensure the board doesn't short out. But quite a considerable amount of work has gone into this Osborne. Someone clearly was using this as a bit of a super user. It's not your run-of-the-mill board, that's for sure. Just looking at the ram banks here to see how the ram banks look, see if there's been any modifications or additions. Doesn't look like it. It looks like all original RAM. Everything's from week 8 1982, and none of them look to have been replaced, so they all look original. So that gives a date for the manufacture of the machine. So that would be end of February, start of March 1982 at a guess. And then the expansion boards seem to all be from 83, 84. So, and yeah, this PAP or PAR2 or PARS ROM from 27th of May 1984 has been added. So yeah, we've got an 80 column external video board that comes out the front, connected to the front expansion bay. Then we've got this double layer, double density disc card in the back, running a dual disc inside the unit as well as a external floppy interface. And then we've got this Super I/O card, which I'm unsure of what a Super I/O would be. It might be something that's just giving additional I/O potentially for the rest of these expansions. But we can actually see, just trying to actually have a look how it's connecting into the board, and it looks like it's going through a ROM chip there at the back, which then is being, there's a flex cable here that's connecting that ROM slot off the board. My guess is the original ROM chip that was on the board is here, so it must just expand the serial interface of the machine is my guess. But we'll clean that up. We'll clip out this battery now. We'll remove the power supply and just check visually that there's no AC line capacitors or capacitors we have to be concerned about if we're going to run and operate this machine. And as I said, we'll just clean up this board so we can prevent some more things. So anyway, guys, we'll be back soon with what we found. But obviously, pretty unusual Osborne machine with all those expansions.